Hi everyone, welcome back to Kitchen Moods. Today I'm preparing for you eggplant buckwheat with spicy garlic sauce. First, we will wash and slice thinly 2 large eggplants. I will add 1 tablespoon of my favorite Himalayan salt to the eggplants and toss and mix until well distributed. I will then add enough water to submerge my eggplant. Salt and water will make the eggplant sweat and will decrease the absorption of fats when I'm frying the eggplants. The eggplants tend to float on the surface, so I'm adding a small heavy plate and pushing it down to make sure the eggplants are properly covered with water and salt. And I will set it aside for a couple of hours. Meanwhile, I will start preparing my buckwheat for cooking. This is how buckwheat looks like. This beautiful pyramid-shaped grain is high in fibers, low in carbohydrates in comparison to other grains, and gluten-free. I am using 150 grams that I washed thoroughly. Cooking the buckwheat is similar to cooking rice. You need 1 part buckwheat, 2 parts water. I boiled the water before adding the buckwheat to it to save some time. I'll bring it to boiling on high heat. Add some salt and a mix of garlic and ground coriander seeds, approximately a teaspoon. Cover it and turn down the heat to low. Once the buckwheat absorbs all the water, turn off the heat and set it aside. Now back to our eggplants. I will remove the sliced eggplants from the water into a colander. I'll spread the eggplants on paper towels, just like that, because I want to dry them as much as possible to avoid any splashing of oil when I'm frying them. I'll tap the top gently with another paper towel to dry it off. Now my eggplant is completely dry. For frying, I will use 200 milliliters of grapeseed oil. I will use a very small pan for frying. This will give depth to the oil without having to add too much of it. I will fry the eggplants until they become golden and then remove them into a plate on a paper towel. Right now, I can already see the reward of soaking my eggplant in salt and water. The eggplants are barely absorbing any of the frying oil. They have a beautiful golden color and they are so crispy. Even the paper towel is not drenched in oil like we usually see when we deep fry some foods. Frying the eggplants also helped a lot with oil splashings. And here is the last piece of my eggplant slices, and I can see that I still have some oil left that I want to measure to know how much oil I actually consumed for frying. My measuring cup shows that I have 1/4 of a cup left. Great news! That means I use only 140 milliliters for approximately 20 slices of eggplant, and that is approximately 7 milliliters per 1 slice or a teaspoon. Now that my buckwheat and eggplants are ready, I will start working on my serving plate. Here is my bed of buckwheat. And I will start arranging the eggplants on the top and on the sides. And I will set it aside until I finish my sauce because I want to add the sauce boiling hot. Now is the time for the sauce preparation. I will need approximately 8 cloves of garlic, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander seeds, and optional chili flakes, 1 teaspoon. 150 milliliters of vinegar. I'm using white vinegar, but you can use any type. A tablespoon of the leftover frying oil. I will use a mortar and pestle to crush my garlic and mix it with the ground coriander seeds, but you can also use a food processor or a blender or anything that you have in your kitchen. I will use 1 tablespoon of the leftover frying oil to saute my garlic. Add the garlic and coriander mixture to the hot oil and saute until golden brown. Add the chili flakes, and I'm adding some roasted hot peppers just to spice it up a little bit more. Give it a quick stir and immediately pour the 150 milliliters of vinegar into the mixture. Turn off the heat after 30 seconds or so and start adding your sauce thoroughly to the serving plate. Garnishing the top with some celery leaves. I stored the remaining eggplant with the garlic sauce in a container in the fridge, and I will use it as a cold side for the other meals. I can also use it as an amazing appetizer. I hope you will enjoy this recipe as much as I do. The ingredients and macros will be listed down below in the description box, and until the next recipe.